Baseline gonna make man shut up. Baseline gonna make man shut up. Baseline gonna make man shatter.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to League Racing TV. This is Esports Masters League. This is season number 7. It's gone to Tier 1. It's round number 3 of the championship as we take in the Italian Grand Prix from the home of Italian motorsport. Of course, it is the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, otherwise known as Monza to you and me. My name is James Head. I'm the only one that's going to be taking you through the stream tonight. Unfortunately, because of personal issues, Michael Edwards is not here tonight, so you have got my voice for the next hour and a half, which I hope is not going to be too bad, and I hope you don't take offence to anything that I might say throughout the stream. Hopefully, though, everyone is doing well. Let me know in the comment section as well if everything is fine currently with the stream. And speaking of everything that was fine and rosy and all of that dandiness, let's have a look at the results from last week in Japan. And a noticeable change, actually, from Japan. Of course, a swap between Rodadal and Danny Van Ryten. Danny Van Ryten initially finished second, but because of that incident into the final corner, which we caught on stream, Rodadal ended up getting second position. Might be slightly unfair on the Team Shazoo boys, more than likely, but an ETA 1-2 definitely suits them well moving forward from Japan. Ryan in the end finishing 4th, Dan in 5th. And then we had to split the points between Epic Vale and Tech because they got 6th and 7th. They finished on the same time. Killer in 8th, Lafitti in 9th, and Mustache rounding off the top 10. We have got everyone in the lobby, so everyone is here, all good to go. And I am just going to confirm that right now that everyone is in the lobby and we are good to go. Let's have a look, though, at the championship standings coming into tonight. And because of all of the half points that we have from NLR and Bunga Racing Team, it seems a little bit different to last week, that is for sure. But after round 2, after Japan, this is how it lies. ETA leading the way on 93 points, NLR Esports in second on 67.5, Team Shazoo in third on 66, Future Racing Team in fourth on 41, then Grand Track 10 in fifth on 38, CPI in 6th on 36, Bunga Racing Team in 7th on 32.5, Top Tier Motorsport in 8th on 22, Avisio went 9th on 14, and then Team Extoria in 10th on 13 points. So, unlike Avisio last week, they do have their points, and they are now on 14 points right down there in 9th position. But ETA out on top, holding what can only be described as a 26.5 point lead over NLR. It is going to be very tricky to try and do the points going throughout the season because of this. But remember, NLR and Tech for Bunga Racing Team picked up half points. We decided to share the points. They came across the line in the same position. Literally, you could not split them as they came across the line. So we have decided exactly what we did in Console Tier 2 actually last season is half the points for 6th and 7th position, which I think is fair for everyone in that situation. Let's have a look at who was going to be racing tonight as well. Of course, we are still running the F1 multiplayer cars, which is a bit of a shame because we don't get to see all of these teams out on track, but we do get to see the 10 teams taking part out on track here tonight. GT10 have gone with Ghost King and Boy Lulo, an old French pairing there for GT10. In fact, we've got two French pairings, all French pairings here tonight, a Rocket and Namsko in for Team Extoria. Team Shazoo, meaning business. Cameron Dowds, who was a very rogue qualifier, I've got to say, alongside Tom Roberts. They are the McLaren pairing, the current constructors leaders as well, in terms of PSGL PSF1. So they were looking to try and get a good result here tonight in Monza. CPI had a late change with MI Killer NL coming in for, I think it was Lucas, if I'm not mistaken. Jordan there alongside him in the McLarens, or would be the McLarens, of course. Avisio got Max Powell and Abe Gobardi. Abe Gobardi is a Ukrainian driver. How we appreciate the Ukrainian racers here within the F1 community and everything that is going on currently still in that country. Hopefully Av is safe, and hopefully he will do Avisio Racing very much proud tonight as well. NLR have also had multiple changes to their lineup because it was meant to be the Spicer and Epic Val, and then Harley decided to put Ryan in instead. So it's Ryan instead of Spicer alongside Epic Val for NLR. Very confusing, I know. ET8 have got Matteo and Sergio, an all-Italian pairing there for the ET8 team, looking to try and defend their lead coming into tonight. FRT, who qualified for World last night, have got Typical and BGO Andrea. Plenty of Italians actually showing up for their home race, which is good to see. BRT have all got a British pairing of Finn Bob, and I think that's Zach Octez, if I'm not mistaken. Please let me know in the chat if that is wrong. And TTM, we've got TTM Enzo and Ian Van Unen, who have got a very strong lineup, I think, tonight as well. TTM, looking at the lineups, I'm immediately going to put Shazoo up there. Cameron Dowden is pretty weak in terms of his qualifying, but I would put them up there. NLR, ET8, and probably TTM are the teams to watch out for, I think, within this qualifying session. Good evening to everyone that is tuning in. Cameron's dad there in the chat saying evening, James. Evening to you as well, my friend. Hope you are doing very well indeed. Not Ninja there in the chat doing double moderating duties from F2 a little bit earlier on. Let's have a look, though, at the track in question. It is 5.793 kilometres of length, 3.5 miles, 11 turns right now. Drivers out on track here at the Autodromo Nacional de Monza. 11 turns, as I say, around what can only be described as a boot. Literally a boot-shaped track coming now through the right-hand, coming in through, of course, the right-hand den towards turn 1, the Westfield chicane, the Della Roger chicane, then the Les Mills, then all the way down the rest of it, I forgot what it is, the straight going down, Ascari, and then, of course, Parabolica these days as well. And as you can see, out on track, it is very interesting in terms of the weather, and I think this is going to be a very interesting situation where we have in terms of the weather, because it is currently raining out on track, and you can see there with the tyres that everyone is on, it is intermediate running. However, Cameron Dowd's there on a set of softs, Tom Roberts on a set of softs. They're clearly thinking it might be best to go on that compounded tyre. It must be very difficult to try and pick on which tyre is right to go for. Drivers are coming out, though, of the session right now. And it looks like the two McLarens, in fact, first out on track. That is Tom and, indeed, Cameron Dowd's first two out on track. Good to see, actually, that we know what car they're in as well, because they run this in PSF1, so this is actually good for me. The rain is a little bit heavy. It looks dry. It looks bone dry at the track, actually, relatively speaking. But when you get the pedal to metal and the foot to the floor, there is a little bit of wet damp patches coming out through this right-hander of the Cover Grande into the left-hander turn number 4 at the second chicane at the Della Roger. So it's going to be a very interesting qualifying session. You can see more drivers venturing out. Looks like one of the BRT boys is going to venture out. Typical is going to venture out on a set of softs, as is, I think, a Rocker was as well, but he's on a set of inters. So it's definitely going to be a fascinating start to this qualifying session, and it is the first wet qualifying session that we've had so far this season in Season 7 as well. As I say, hope you're all doing well. Let me know in the comment section if everything is a-okay in terms of the stream, a-okay in terms of me being heard and everything. Hopefully everything is a-okay. I can see my CPU jumping up and down. Hopefully, though, it is all okay and you can see the pictures fine as well. It's a good thing that I'm not on Discord, so it's not lagging as much as what it normally does. However, Tom Roberts now running up the hill in towards the right-hander now, turn of 11. Formerly, of course, the Curva Alboreto, named after Michele Alboreto's sad passing in 2023. Now, of course, reverted back to Parabolica. And through the final corner, Tom Roberts is getting a squirrel on through the final corner on the run to the line. And in fact, he bails into the pit lane because he knows that it's not the intermediate compound tyre, the set of softs that he needs, it's the set of inters that he does need indeed. Ian Van Unen, though, was the first man out on track for TTM. Now on the run down in towards turn number 1, let's see what the Dutchman can do in toward the Retipedio chicane. His right-hander turn 1, through the left-hander turn number 2, very neat and tidy there from Ian Van Noonen, now running up in towards Curva Grande, turn number 3, flat out around about 180 mile an hour he can carry through this corner, all the way up in a very high 7th of a very low 8th gear, 195 mile an hour on braking, now into the Delaware chicane. Car sliding away, but you can see it's much more rubbered down than what Tom's tyres were on that outlap, as now Ian Van Noonen comes towards the first Lesnills, not to confuse with something else of course, and then in towards the second Lesnill that Ian Van Noonen will come into. Very neatly done, coming on the exit of the corner, and now down what was what I was going to call the Retroposa, but it's not. It is the Coronel Savaglio running into the left-hander of the Scauri at turn and break. 57.2 in the middle sector. Of course, not seeing the dry compounder running that we saw in Console Tier 2. Ian Van Noonen, very wide there, coming off a Scauri at turn number 10. Goodness me. Very close to nearly spinning the car. Now into the right-hander of the final corner at Parabolica. Of course, where we saw an unbelievable crash a couple of years ago in F3. Name for, I think it was Alex Peroni, if I'm not mistaken. Ian Van Noonen, though, to the line, 26.2. So nice up there from the TTM man. Nearly bettered by Killer, but he goes 5/10 off him. Enzo's on a lap right now, coming down the hill. Just trying to see who was furthest on a lap time. It is this man here, Arocca, the former Team Mentalism driver from back in EML's days. And Arocca now coming through the final corner. Is he going to rock the boat with this lap time? Probably not. 31 flat it is from Arocca. So clearly made a mistake on that lap as Ryan now goes quickest for NLR. Speaking of new NLR signings, Jav there in the chat. Hope you're doing very well, my friend. Returning to old pastures new, I am sure, with the NLR team. Ryan though out on top, Ian Van Noonen in second, Killer NL there in third. Finbob running down the hill there. I'm just trying to see again who's furthest on. Quite a lot of invalidation teams as one of the BRT man has left the session, so hopefully we can get a session invite back into him. Mateo was currently on lap right now, and you can see him on a lap right now because I'm on board with him. Running toward the right-hander of Parabolica and about to come into this cold. You can see actually that with the rain falling out on track, it's not that damp, this track. Honestly, it is not that damp. There's no spray really coming off the cars, so it might mean we get dry running about halfway through the session potentially. So, have to wait and see. Matteo, the Italian stallion, comes to the line, 26.7. Not a bad lap there at all from him. Cameron Dowd's there back on an outlap. Sergio for ETN as well. Through the final corner, the all-Italian pairing here for the ET8 team, and he goes second, 26.212. Ryan out on top, Sergio there in second, Ian Van Noonen there in third. Yeah, I was very well informed, Jav, because I saw that earlier on Twitter, and it's a very good move, I've got to say, from yourself. Through into NLR, leaving the IRT team, of course. Nordic Ninja saying in the chat, wonder if rain is easier for pad. It is a little bit easier for pad, I'll be brutally honest. I'm on a pad as well. Ghost King's going to get a little bit of a block on there, realising the last second, whoever that was, on an outlap, as we get the BRT man of Oxford back in, and Ghost King is sideways, coming through Parabolica. Goodness me, absolutely sideways on that car, but he's going to set a good lap here. Goes third. Splits between a very near enough impossible gap between Sergio and Ian Van Noonen. So Ghost King there for GT10, there in third. Grand Track 10, of course, don't think getting through into Legacy Division, if my mind doesn't escape me from last night. NLR didn't either. Ryan out on top though, from Sergio in second, Ghost King there in third. Ian's debut race, apparently, for TTM, I've just been informed by the TTM guys there in the chat. I thought Ian Van Noonen was a little bit, I thought he signed a little bit sooner for TTM. I might be completely wrong with that, but the man himself is 2.5 tenths up through this middle sector split. Let's run on board with the new signing for TTM into the right-hander of turn number 11 at Parabolica. As I think Namsko left the session, if I'm not mistaken, so hopefully he'll be able to come back in as well. Hopefully there's plenty of spare invites being given as well. Ian Van Noonen, with the inters now warmed up, surely going to go quicker with this lap time, and he does. 25.935, 3.5 tenths improvement. Ryan back in the pit lane there in second. Not for long though, because Tom Roberts comes out of nowhere. The F1 Esports Challengers man, or the one-time F1 Esports Challengers man in 2023. Of course, they're now in second, and Cameron Dowds somehow splits the pair. Cameron Dowds there in second, Tom Roberts there in third. Cameron Dowds in second in a qualifying session with Michael Edwards not here. Maybe the hoodlum, potentially, of Mike not being here is bringing Cameron's qualifying on right now, but it's a very good lap. He is always strong in these set of intermediate compounder tyres. He's there in second position. Just trying to see if there's anybody else on the lap time right now. Andrea is for FRT, running down the hill now in towards turn number 8. And his middle sector split is a 57 flat, so it's well up there with Ian Van Unen's middle sector split as well. Top Team Motorsport saying in the chat, yeah, I thought he signed a long time ago. He just hasn't had a race yet. Apparently he's moving to PC in 3 days. I read that a little bit earlier on as well. PS's loss is PC's gain, is what I will definitely say there with Ian Van Unen, as Andrea now comes through the final corner in the Bananarama car for FRT, coming through the final corner. On the run to the line, should be a consistent lap here from Andrea, the Italian. He goes 8th ahead of Namsko, so not a bad lap there at all from his perspective as well. But Ian Van Unen out on top, Cameron Dowd in 2nd, Tom Roberts there in 3rd. Apologies, yeah, you might have heard my bottle cap there in the background. That is my very squeaky flask that I've got with water in to the right-hand side of me. Namsko has rejoined, and Matteo has just gone to the top end of the timing. So Matteo now out on top, Ian Van Unen in 2nd, Cameron Dowd in 3rd, as Epic Vale has retired in the pit lane, I think. So Epic Vale's retired in the pit lane. And I'll down one driver, it seems, within this qualifying session. That man there is Ryan, and that man there is currently on a lap time right now in towards Curva Grande and in towards turn number 4. And 2.5 tenths to boot as well, up on his lap time. Now coming to the right-hander of the Delarod chicane. And in towards the right-hander now of the first Lesmo, where nearly saw drivers running the gravel in real life around here at the weekend. Right now in toward the right-hander of the second Lesmo, and again, very neat and tidy on the exit of the corner. Matteo Ian Van Unen and Cameron Dowd down on top, currently in the session. It's a bit of a throwback to PSGL PSF1 around here, I'll be honest, right now with the top 3. 6.5 tenths up though from Ryan. He is going to absolutely obliterate everyone with this lap time, as long as he stays valid, which he does. Coming through Ascari, now in toward the right-hander now of turn number 11. To see what Ryan can do. It is very difficult, by the way. You have to have a drink once upon a time, so ignore my squeaky bottle cap in the background if I do ever take a drink. As Ryan now comes through the final corner on the run toward the line. Should be around a 25.5, I think. Oh, even quicker. 25 flat. What am I on tonight? Right out on top. Matteo there in 2nd, and Killer NL for CPI in 3rd. So the track is definitely getting quicker. We'll focus our attentions on somebody further down the field. And that is Av Gobardi there for Avisio Racing, the Ukrainian man, in toward the middle sector. 56.7 in the middle sector. Faster than Matteo, nearly invalid through Ascari. Can ride that curve a lot more aggressively, it seems, on this game compared to F123. And he's not looking too bad at all. Now, the right-hander of turn 11 awaiting in a Ukrainian-inspired looking livery as well, which I really, really like. It's a really good touch there. From the Avisio man, now in toward the right-hander of turn number 11, through the final corner, on the run to the line with Avgabadi. Does he go quicker? No, but he does go 2nd. Good lap time there from the Avisio Racing man, 25.428. Currently his personal best. But right out on top, Avgabadi there in 2nd, Matteo there in 3rd. As Oxes there, I think, has went 5th position as well. Just trying to see who else is on a lap time. Andrea's on a lap, 4 tenths up, in towards Parabolica. Finbob there for BRT, going 3rd there, just behind Avgabadi by 300ths of a second. Andrea very squirrely on the exit of the corner. Now through the final corner on the run to the line. And FRT get Andrea up to 3rd. Notice a little bit of a theme going on here compared to Legacy Division last night. Avisio Racing there in 2nd, FRT in 3rd, BRT 4th, E8 in 5th, CPI in 6th. They have all qualified for, along with TCM, in fact, with Dean Van Unen and, of course, Team Chazoo, they've all qualified for Legacy Division last night as well. So, a little bit of transparency coming from the teams here in EML, as I mentioned on that stream last night, compared to what we are getting for the rest of the season here in EML, and, of course, what we're going to be getting in Legacy Division in a couple of weeks' time. Max Power at full max power there in 3rd position, 25.3 from him. Ryan Noel on top, Ghost King in 2nd, Max Power there in 3rd. A rocker with a 29.6 right now is the bottom end of the standings. Of course, this is an 18-minute qualifying session if you're brand new to EML and you're tuning in for the very first time. And you might be coming over here right now from console tier 2. If you are, welcome along. Myself, James Head, taking through the action here as we ride on board with a rocker now through the right-hander of the second Lesmo. The sun begins to try and peek through the cloud cover here in a very damp Italian Grand Prix qualifying right now here in EML. And Arocco's middle sector should be around a mid-56. 56.9, he'll take that. Now through the left-hander of turn number 11. Doesn't seem confident though. Through Ascari, through in towards turns 8, 9 and 10. not turn 11, which is this corner coming up here. Tom now going second, Ghost King third, Nams going fourth. Not sure what Ryan was on, by the way, with that lap time. 25 flat, 2 turns clear of Tom Roberts, Ghost King there in third. Can't go better than him right now. Now the King Killer NL. Ryan's lap time there is definitely going to be beaten at somewhat, but is it the case of he's just been sweating out the track once again and trying to really foolish everyone like he did in the Mexican social race around here and went like 2 tenths clear of everyone? I hope Ryan has got a life now compared to then. But Ryan out on top, Killer NL in second, Tom Roberts there in third with 4.5 minutes to go. Ian Van Unen there, down in 15. Definitely a man to watch out for on this lap time coming in toward the right-hand turn mob. But currently, NLR, CPI, Shazoo currently the top 3 as it stands. A reminder of the championship standings as well in a short while coming into tonight's action. Try and get a little bit of a brief peer where I can actually show it on the graphics. But we'll do that, I think, in the intermission while we have a little bit more time there. And Ian Van Unen through the right-hander of the Delarod chicane, through turn number 5, into the right-hander now, turn number 6. I'm going to mute my mic, I'm going to take a drink, and I'll be back with you in 20 seconds. There, see, no squeaky bottle cap this time around. Ian Van Unen, though, it is squeaky bum time for him through Ascari with a 56.3. Not a bad middle sector at all from Ian Van Unen. Now through Ascari in towards Parabolica once again for the final time. This long run, this long drag almost up towards Parabolica. 200 mile an hour on braking, much more confident on the car. Now through the final corner, Parabolica nearly losing the rear end there. Does the Dutchman, but he is on the run toward the line. The XET8 man, is he going to defeat the NLR man? He does. Ian Van Unen, 2/10 of a second. Ryan there in second, Killer NL there in third. Jordan on a lap time as well for CPI. Of course, they qualified for Legacy Division last night as well. They're through the final corners with Jordan, who I think was part of that lineup, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, CPI in the chat. And he now goes into 8th position. So Ian Van Unen, 24.8. Ryan second, 25 flat. Killer NL in third, 25 flat as well. Jab in the chat saying Ryan took last night personal. I could tell, honestly, that reaction, I think, on the live stream where he crashed out, made that mistake through turn number 1, and when he crashed out, you could tell he was a very frustrated man. NLR, though, are a reserve team within Legacy Division. Do not forget about that, so there are going to be plenty of opportunities, I am sure, to come for NLR to shine in other team events, like here in EML, but also as well in Legacy Division moving forward. I'm mentioning Legacy Division a lot. This is EML coming through the final corner of Matteo on the run to the line with the Italian Stallion. Does he go quicker? Yes, he does. 24.6. Matteo more like it right now at the end of this session. Ian Van Unen there in second, Ryan there in third. Looks like Matteo has got a higher fuel load, so he might try and hopefully not block people coming out the pit lane. First and foremost, but he is going to be on for a lap time very soon indeed. Speaking of lap times coming in, FRT Typical just about to step on a lap, and the BRT Man of Oxstairs on a lap as well. Now coming through the right-hander of turn number 6, into the right-hander now of turn number 7, Bra 4 embarking down the Curva del Seraglio in towards turn 8, 9 and 10 at Ascari. And the BRT Man, BRT of course topping Legacy Division last night, and we'll be hoping for more of the same. Maybe here tonight in BRT, in EML. BRT definitely looking to try and get on their lap. 56.5 though was very consistent from the Brit, but he invalidates. As soon as I say that, he invalidates. I'll definitely take that with a pinch of salt. The man down in 16 will not get a lap time in. Typical though, however, is on a lap time for FRT, and he's going to be, I think, one of the next to come across the line. Currently on a run, running down the hill now, in towards turn number 8 of Ascari, middle sector, 56.1, well up there, compared to the likes of Matteo, the likes of Ian Van Unen, the likes of Ryan. I think this is going to be a good lap from the FRT man, scurrying the car, fighting the car aggressively through turn number 10, running up the hill now in towards turn number 11. Currently Matteo, Ian Van Unen, Ryan, the top 3. Most drivers are in the middle sector preparing up for their lap times. Hopefully they'll have enough time to get round with this track still being damp and wet on line. Typical now through the final corner though for FRT. Rings for Michael third. Does go third ahead of Ryan by 0.04 of a second. Ryan just starting up on a lap time, responding purple in the first sector. So this is going to be an absolute hectic end to this qualifying session. Matteo, Ian Van Unen, typical the top three. I don't think that top three will remain. Let us know in the comment section, let me know in the comment section who you think is going to get on top by the end of this session with 30 seconds to go. Ryan in this middle sector should be aiming 55s, 55.9 in the middle sector from Ryan. Absolutely on it like a car bonnet. Now through the left-hander, or nearly invalidating through Ascari at turn number 10. Absolutely on the snap, on the limit from Ryan. Now in towards the right-hand return number 11, the German, looking to try and provide a very good result. Finball, by the way, just coming to line to start his final lap of the race, of qualifying as well. Now through the final corner though with Ryan on the run to the line. Does he go quicker than Matteo? Yes, he does, but barely ahead of Matteo. 300s clear of Matteo. Ian Van Unen there in 30s. Not on a lap is Ian Van Unen. Neither is typical. Killer NL is, but he just dips the wheel in the gravel, and he could be invalidating this run as well here, because that was a gravel touch. As we see movements through the field as well. Jordan there going 6th. Oxes there going 8th. Ian Van Unen, as I say, not on a lap. Matteo is the one to watch out for. We'll have to try and keep an eye on where people are jumping throughout the session. But Matteo is the man we're going to focus on for the end of this session, for the end of this lap. 24.6 is current best. He loves the intermediate conditions around here, as Tom Roberts now goes quickest for Team Chazoo. 24.557. What's Matteo's middle sector like compared to Ryan? 56 flat. He's there or thereabouts compared to Ryan's middle sector. He is a 10th down, and he is a little bit better through there compared to Ryan, I will argue as well. Matteo is looking to try and improve on this time, all the way up in towards Parabolic now. The Italian going to try and catch the eye. Cameron Dowds, by the way, only managing 7th. Enzo in 8th. Namskill there down in 10th, because Max Power goes 5th as well. Matteo, though, can he do this for ET8? Through the final corner, on the run to the line. It's going to be so close, but he does it. 24.437. Matteo out on top. Avgobardi's got nothing left. I don't think Ian Van Unen, as I say, is on a lap time. He is not indeed. Matteo pulls it out of the fire. We were right to ride on board with him. The Italian stallion out qualifies everyone else here by a 10th of a second for the Italian Grand Prix. Matteo out on top. Tom Robertson second. Sergio there in third. 1-3 for ET8. Team Chazoo not looking too bad either with Tom Robertson second. Fantastic end to that qualifying session though. Matteo out on top. The main man himself, who else? He loves the intermediate compound tyres around here. He loves the intermediate conditions in general. He loves the rain. Probably not going to get any, I don't think, in the race. But Matteo out on top. Tom in second. Sergio there in third. Ian Van Unen complaining there in the Discord about blocking in qualifying. Get it reported in. Do not have any quarrels. Get it reported in and everything will be fine. The stewards will definitely investigate any blocking within qualifying. That is for sure. And probably reprimands will be given as well on top of that. But Matteo out on top for ET8. A fantastic end to that qualifying session. The first wet qualifying session of the season brings Matteo to the top step on pole position for the race, with Tom Roberts alongside him on the front row of the grid. Sergio and Ryan on the second row, with Max Fowler in 5th and Finn Bob in 6th on the third row, with Ian Van Unen and Andrea in behind them on the 4th row, Cameron Dowds and Enzo in 9th and 10th on the 5th row of the grid. 5/10 of a second covering the top 10. Namsko and Killer NL there on the 6th row along with Typical and Jordan in 13th and 14th. Aroka there in 15th along with Ghost King, so an all-French 8th row of the grid as well. Oxes and Avgobardi there in 17th and 18th. Avgobardi was second in amongst that session. And then in the end, right down the bottom end of the field, Boyalulo and indeed the other man whose name absolutely escapes me. It is, just scrolling through, Epic Val, who didn't get a lap time in, relatively speaking, toward the end of that session. Tom in the Discord's just put, I peaked so hard I started shaking. Yeah, he definitely did start shaking, I think, after that. We are going to get a new lobby, which means I'm going to cut to an intermission break. I'm going to let you guys enjoy a little bit of music in the meantime, and I'll be back with you probably in about 3 or 4 minutes' time.
Bassline gonna make man shatter.
Welcome back, everyone, to League Racing TV, to Esports Masters League. It is Season 7, Console Tier 1, Round 3 of the Championship. The Italian Grand Prix is going to be amongst us in just a few moments' time. We are currently getting into the new lobby, and hopefully everyone will be in there in due course for Matteo to get all the settings and everything set up, do the custom grid. Everything will be set up within the next 5 minutes, but it means you can hear me waffling on about what happened, of course, last week. Those were the standings just briefly there on your screen. Let's have a look at the results, because the results did change from last week. Remember, it was Rens Thomason who took the win from Danny Van Ruiten in second, Rotterdam in third. However, because of the steward reports, Rotterdam swapped the positions with Danny Van Ruiten in the end. It was a position swap, as it was known, and we can give out, of course, any penalty that we found sufficient from the steward's perspective. It was found that a position swap would be better than penalising them either 3 or 5 seconds and dropping them down the field outside of the podiums. So what we decided to do is swap the positions, and Rotterdam got second, Danny Van Ruiten there in third. I'm sure Danny was probably not happy with that, but E10 definitely happy singing the hymn sheet with a 1-2 last week in Japan. Ryan in the end finished off in fourth, 2.5 seconds covering the top four. Ryan got those tyres somehow to the end of the race as well last week. Dan in fifth with Epic Vale there in sixth, who got reported that his AI crashed when he was coming in the pit lane. So that is not great news at all from Epic Vale within this qualified session here in Italy. Tech, of course, finished in seventh. You may notice there they finished on exactly the same time. And what we decided to do with that was end up splitting the points between sixth and seventh. Remember, sixth gets 14. Tech would have got seventh and would have got 13 points. So what we decided to do, because they were equal coming across the line, they were literally a millimetre apart between each of them, within the thousandth of a second. So what we decided to do, split the points and produce half points for sixth and seventh on this occasion. MI Killer NL there in eighth, Graffiti in ninth, and Mustache rounding off the top 10 as well. What did that do to the championship standings, you may add? ETA out on top on 93 points coming into tonight, and they have a 1-3 in qualifying as well. NLR Esports in second on 67.5 even as well. Team Chazoo in third on 66. Then a little bit of a jump down to Future Racing Team in fourth on 41. Grand Track 10 in fifth on 38. CPI in sixth on 36. Then Bunga Racing Team in seventh on 32.5. Top Team Motorsport in eighth on 22. Avisio in ninth on 14. And then Team Extoria in 10th on 13 points. That is how the land lies coming into tonight. And he's obviously out on top, 26.5 points. I think I make that out as ahead of NLR. Then Evis Rivals coming into tonight. Looking through the chat, Ian Van Unen's definitely going to report that AI, that blocking in qualifying. So E8 will definitely have a report coming in. And Console Tier 2, by the way, as well, was very, very good. If you did watch that and you're coming to watch Console Tier 1, please let me know what that race was like, because apparently I've just been talking to our commentator, Mr. Nexus Bunnies himself, and he said it was a phenomenal race. So if he's saying a phenomenal race, I hope it was, to God, a very good race as well. And far from the 13 stewards reports that we had last week in F2 as well. let's just hope it doesn't have a complete flip effect and we get 13 stupid reports here in F1. Hopefully it's a good race and hopefully everyone behaves themselves in tonight as well. We have got one driver missing right now in the lobby, and I believe that man is Max Power, who's just joining the session. So Max Power is now in, and the custom grid and everything is going to be set. Ryan is going through the settings as well with Matteo, just to double check everything is good on that perspective as well. A reminder as well of who is going to be driving tonight in Italy, in Monza. GT10, Ghost King and Boy Lulo are in for Grand Track 10, and then it's a Rocket and Namsco, an all-French pairing for both our teams, for GT10 and Extoria here tonight, and it's a Rocket and Namsco in, the former Team Mentalism pairing Team Extoria. Cameron Dowd and Tom Roberts in, normally in the Ferraris for Team Chazoo, then it's Jordan and MI Killer and L in for CPI. Max Power and Avgobardi there, the Ukrainian man there for Visio Racing. Visio did very well last night in Lexi Division qualifiers. Ryan and Epic Vale there down for NLR. Epic Vale will be definitely looking to try and get from 20th on the grid up toward the top end of the field. Matteo and Sergio are in as an all-Italian pairing for ET8, first and third, of course, in qualifying. Typical and Andrea are in for FRT. Finn, Bob and Oxes are in for BRT, and then Enzo and Ian Van Unen ending off for us for TTM, the French and the Dutchman pairing there as well. Lauren's asking in the chat, can I send out a prayer for our Unk, that he wins this? Not sure who our Unk is. I couldn't see him on the driver lineup there, to be honest. I have a feeling he's going to try... he's on about Matteo. That's who I have a feeling he's on about, because he's in ET8 himself. I think he's on about Matteo, if I'm not mistaken. Matteo will get my prayers, but I will remain unbiased towards every single driver and every single team, as I always do here in EML, because that is not the best way a commentator should go if I affiliate with one team and then pretty much pee off the other 9 teams that we have as well. But we are going to get into the session very soon indeed. Bear with us as well while we get everything going on. The start of that session that we had was dry, so it should be dry once again. It is on dynamic weather, however, so pretty much can play into perspective. In fact, I think it's on custom weather, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to have a double check of the settings on that as well. And if I know where the weather and time of day is, that'll be fantastic. It is still on dynamic weather, because it's basically like what WR do with their lobbies and everything. If you've been in the Legacy Division lobby, you'll know. But we go on dynamic weather. So just because it was sunny at the start doesn't mean it's going to be sunny for this start of the race, which makes it very interesting and makes it so the drivers have got to prepare. They will get a few minutes to prepare, obviously, in terms of their setups, in terms of their strategies, in terms of the tyres that they're going to be on as well. It's going to be really intriguing, I think, how this race is going to prescribe. Let's have a look, though, while the 30-second countdown is ongoing. The track map in question, it's just rotating itself through again. 5.7 kilometres in length, 3.5 mile, 11 turns. Right now, the driver's out on track around the boot-shaped track here at the Autodromo Nacional de Monza. 2 DRS zones, of course. 1 down the start finish straight in towards turn number 1, and then 1 down the hill in towards turn number 8. Through the covered El Serradio in towards Ascari. Let us get live then onto the track. We are just loading now into the lobby, and already a prediction has been made there in the chat. P1 Matteo, P2 Cameron, P3 Ryan. Okay, interesting prediction there. Matteo obviously much better in terms of the intermediate and the wet conditions than he is obviously in the dry. Cameron exactly the same as well. He is, however, an absolute goat in terms of his race pace. And Ryan as well. I could honestly see that top 3 pulling off. I really could. But I'm probably going to go a little bit different, I think, of how this race may transpire as well. But drivers will be preparing themselves very soon indeed. Cameron's dad definitely disagrees with that. Matteo P1 and quality is a day to remember, also says Lawrence in the chat. I totally agree. I think Matteo said it in I think it was a PSGL interview 2 weeks ago. And he said he's always stronger in the intermediates and in the wet conditions than he is in the dry. Does he get his hope here? No, because it is dry at the start of this race. It is cloudy, it is overcast. I think it's like console tier 2, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of their weather as well. So it is going to be really interesting. Hopefully everyone behaves themselves. Hopefully everything will be a-okay, and hopefully racing will be good for all of you guys at home. Let me know in the comment section where you are tuning in from, where you may be actually watching this race from as well, and who you think is going to get on top step of the podium and in the top 3 tonight as well. I'll put my predictions in a couple of minutes. Just trying to see some of the reactions as well. Nordic Ninja being very, very unfair, by the way, in the Discord, saying Mateo's going to crash at turn 1. How dare you? How dare you? He's a moderator on this channel. Those moderators privileges might be no more after that comment. I saw that. Do not go and delete that anymore. He's still here in the YouTube chat, I know. So, yeah. Cameron's dad also saying in the chat, no comment, need to stay humble and not jinx him with a prediction. I totally agree on that as well. EVE, not Rishi there in the chat. EVE qualified. If I'm not mistaken, it's Max Power and indeed, as Epic Vale has left the session. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in, take control of his car and all of that jazz before the start of the race. Max Power, I believe, is EVE. He qualified in 5th, and Abe Gabbardi was in 2nd at one point in that session. He qualifies, I think, down in 19th, if I'm not mistaken. I will definitely double check that, though, right about now. And yeah, he is down in P19, I believe, Abe Gabbardi. No, P18 even. P18 is where he qualified as well. Epic Vale has left the session. Hopefully he can get back into the session. That is going to be the main concern, I think, right now. Hopefully he doesn't glitch anything. We don't get a restart. Lauren's asking how life is good for me. Life is very good for me, actually, right now. I am here amongst you lovely lot on a Wednesday night. And I couldn't be thinking of being anywhere else better than to commentate here on EML on Wednesday. But no, life is generally good, I think, right now at this stage. Nordic Ninja in the chat, reasoning the gaslighting was too great there, therefore he's jinxed. Okay. It's still a very unfair comment, but yeah, I could kind of see where that comes from, to be honest. Epic Vale has crashed, his game has crashed, apparently. So Epic Vale's game has crashed, which would only be fair, I think, if we did have a restart. Obviously, it is up to the jurisdiction of Mateo, being the lobby host, whether he does want to do that or not, and let Epic Vale in. Because we go straight into the race, his car should be there on the grid, so he should be able to take control of his car after the race starts, and we will definitely see if that is the case. But we will definitely have a look and see in the rules and regulations whether we do get a restart or not with Epic Vale leaving. I personally think it's fair for him. I know people are going to ramp on and just be like, yeah, we should just get on with the race. But he should be able to join back. So I think he should be okay. The car will be on the grid. He should be able to join back. And here we go. The 5 red lights are about to go out here for EML, Console Tier 1, Round 3 of the Championship. And there's lights and away we go. Epic Vale's car is on the grid, by the way, right down at the bottom end of the field. But Mateo gets a good start. Tom Roberts that was right alongside him. Sergio alongside him as well. In towards turn number 1. We'll run 3 wide. Down in towards turn number 1. And Mateo just about leads the way. He goes looking up and very deep into the corner. Absolutely causes chaos with his own teammate there through turn number 1 and 2. And Tom Roberts has now escaped up the road. 8.5 tenths of a second. From Mateo there in 2nd. Max Power with a good start there in 3rd. Sergio in 4th. Ryan there in 5th. Ryan is running side by side with Finn Bob, who's coming on the inside line now into all the Delaware chicane. Epic Vale there has joined the session, and Ryan has got damage on the left side end plate as well. Now crashes further down the field. Ryan is out of the session as well. Ryan is retired from the race. And I think that was on track, if I'm not mistaken. Tom leading the way. Mateo there in 2nd. Max Power there in 3rd. Ryan, I think, has rage quit, literally out of frustration. More than anything else, that will be a penalty definitely for him, though. Cameron Dowd's running down the hill with Enzo in an absolute chaotic lap 1. Lots of damage. Enzo's got damage as well on that left side end plate. Cameron Dowd's the inside line. Gets the move done into 7th. Absolute chaos early on. Tom Roberts leads the way. Mateo 2nd. Max Power in 3rd. Sergio in 4th. And the front 4 and a second and a half clear of the rest of the field. The sound I've just realised is off. That is going to be fixed in literally 2 seconds. There we go. Sound is back on. Tom leading the way. Mateo 2nd. Max Power 3rd. Sergio there in 4th. Oh, What a hectic start that was. I couldn't even keep up with that, to be honest. And Matteo looks to try and hunt down the race lead on the back of Tom. Not quite close enough. Cameron Dowd still making it 3 wide down the straight and towards turn number 1. The Scotsman, the flying Scotsman, doing he's into the race lead. Epic Vale has retired from the session there as well. And in fact, has he gone straight on or has he retired that on track? I think he's retired that on track. Maybe for issues having flagging him as well. Endel's definitely got damage. Typical is side by side with him along with Andrea. Yellow flags will definitely go in a couple of seconds. Tom Roberts still leading the way. Mateo second, Max Powell there in third. Oh my god. Absolutely terrible start to this race. Judging by the comments that are coming through, Tom crashing out the session, it looks like we are getting a restart. I didn't agree to this. So it has been taken out of my hands with this, but it is going to be a restart for NLR because of the issues that we have with Epic Vale and because of Ryan. Personally, I think it's the wrong decision. I don't think it should have been taken out of my hands, personally, so I'll be having a word with the admin who was there in the Discord, but it is going to be a restart here for EML, full console tier 1 here tonight. So we will get off the screen. I'm going to take you to the intermission with the background music off. You will still hear me though in the background. We are starting though. It's relatively poor, I think, honestly, in terms of having a restart like this. He did retire on track. Epic Vale was unable to join after his game crash, so it's fair to everyone to drive. It is fair. To be honest, it is fair for that to happen, but it should have been done a lot sooner, and it should have been called a lot sooner as well. But we are going to be restarting, it seems. So, I don't have a clue what's going on. As you can clearly tell by my live reactions here on the stream. Yeah. I don't get it, to be honest. I really don't. Called it before the start, but no one retired off the line. It wasn't called off the start. I will tell you that now. Let's have a look. I'm just going through the messages on the Discord server. And I can tell you there was no communication regarding a restart until about 2 minutes ago, which is when the race started. So, obviously Epic Vale should have been joining. People did ready up at the end of the day. But we are going to be having a restart, which was due to happen, as I say, before the lights went out and to allow Epic Vale to rejoin. That was personally the right way to do this. Now we've got a whole lot of arguments. You can imagine how my DMs are going to be like a little bit later on as well with this frustration. It is fair for Epic Vale. Ryan obviously retired out on track and probably took it out of frustration more than anything else. And Tom was asking me to take over Nordic's job. I will definitely take over Nordic's job, to be honest. That is definitely not his call to make. It is my call to make. Obviously, being on commentary as well is difficult. But as current interim head admin here in EML, you can call me that, I think the restart probably is fair for Epic Vale. Epic Vale did retire out on track rather than crash. I think he was having frame rate drops more than anything. Obviously, with them joining back, it should have been called a lot sooner. One good thing is, though, the custom grid has already been set up, I believe. So the custom grid should already be set up. It is going to be still, I think, dynamic weather, or maybe probably the same weather. Drivers will begin to ready up very soon indeed. Yeah, shouldn't have really happened in all of that thing, but yeah, it is more drama than Emmerdale. I totally agree with that, to be honest. I totally agree with that, yeah. This is the real EML, that, by the way, if you're just tuning in for the first time ever and wondering what this is about, yeah. This is normally how EML operates in terms of restart. So, put it this way, it is going to be... if it was due to be dry, it should be clear weather. It should be clear weather for this restart. I don't want to hang everyone around for another 10 minutes just so we have an argument over the weather forecast and everything. It should be, though, ready to go. As I say, the custom grid is already set up as it is. The settings are already the same, so it should literally be quick restart, get the setups on. We go at probably around 3 or 4 minutes time, and then everyone's good to ready up, which they are now doing, which is good. So it's the quickest restart in EML history. Shouldn't have happened like this, I'll be honest, but we are getting the restart more than likely. So yeah, NLR will definitely be very, very, very frustrated, I think, after this, and they have right to be, and I will definitely answer any questions and concerns that they may have privately at the end of this race. So there we are. That is my cast iron guarantee to NLR. However, we're going to get back into the lobby because we are restarting. As you can tell, it's only me tonight as well, so I have to try and do this all by myself. But we are going to be restarting. Yeah, Epic Veil game crash, which we should have allowed him a little bit more time. There should have been a little bit of clear communication regarding what time we're going to be starting, allowing that extra time for him to join. Obviously, they started up in that period when he was trying to rejoin. So in the end, Epic Veil is right down at the bottom end of the field still, and he'll be hoping to try and come back, and hopefully this will be a decent race. Yeah. That definitely could have been communicated a hell of a lot better than what it was. We will definitely learn our lessons from that, and hopefully you can now see the third restart that we're going to be getting tonight as well. And this should be literally put your setups on, put your tyres on, same tyres as you were starting on, of course, medium compounder tyres. Most were on a set of mediums, some were on a set of hards. All of those drivers should remain on the same tyre. If not, we'll be coming down to your house and hunting you and telling you to get on the right tyres. I won't do that in person, but you will definitely get the justification and possibly be investigated by the stewards after this as well. But yeah, definitely going to be an interesting race now. After that little bit of drama, let's try and get a little bit of normality going on. Who do you think's going to be your top three? Are you going same predictions, or are you going to go a little bit different? Now that the weather's a little bit different as well, are we going to go through in terms of the top three predictions? Let me know in the comment section. Best ones and all predictions count, of course, heavily. Hopefully, everything will be really good in terms of the action out on track. Jav doing a little bit of rapping, by the way, in the chat as well. Which I kind of could call mic drop of the season, but I'm the commentator here. I only get to do mic drops, I'm afraid. So there we are. That's how it runs. That is how it runs here in EML. Let us know, though, in the comment section who you think is going to get the top three and indeed the win out on track tonight. So, hopefully everything will go according to plan. Hopefully everything will be good. Epic Veil hopefully will not leave the session and we don't get a fourth restart of the night. Or a third restart even of the night. But everything will happen. I will just go mute for a second. Oh, actually, 5 red lights are coming on. 5 red lights are coming on here for EML. Season 7, Console Tier 1, Round 3. Take 3. I like down and away we go. Mateo gets a very good start. Tom Roberts gets a very good start. Everyone's off the line fine. Epic Veil's not complaining, which is good. He is still in the lobby, which is good as well. Mateo down in towards turn number 1. Sergio and Tom side by side in towards turn number 1. Better restart there from Mateo this time around. Oh, Tom clips the side there of Max Power. Max Power dropping down the field. Tom, I think, got away with that. And it looks like Sergio got away with that as well because he loses the position behind Tom. Now through Curva Grande for the first time. Sergio now attacking on the back of Tom Roberts. Does Tom have a little bit of damage from that little bit of contact earlier on? Through turn number 1 and 2, Mateo leading the way, side by side through from Sergio and Tom, all the way through Della Roger, now in toward the first Lesbo. Brilliant racing between them both. Tom Roberts holds the position. That is how you start off here, this restart. Tom and Sergio side by side through the Della Roger chicane. Second and third position for them. Really, really strong start to this race early on. We'll get the tyres up. Everyone, I think, is on the same tyres as what they were starting on. Set of mediums, set of hards. Mostly about a 50-50 split between the field throughout, as Boyalula drops behind Epic Veil towards the back end of the field. But Mateo leads the way. A much, much less chaotic start to this race, I'll be honest. Good job they've behaved themselves this time around. Finn Bob on the back of Max Power, they were side by side as well, looking to try and get in the background. Cameron Dowds has not made as many positions as what he did off the first restart. He's down there in 11th right now, looking to try and get 10th actually. On the run down the straight on Typical. Down in towards turn number 1. He's got Andrea also ahead of him. Could try the 2 for 1. Definitely Cameron Dowds will go 1 to the inside line at turn number 1 on Typical, who backs off. Might go for 2 actually. Is enough alongside. Gets caught on the inside curve. Goals coasting inside of each other there. Typical on the back there of Cameron Dowds. Cameron once again on the back of Andrea. Not going to get the move done. Side by side in the foreground. Max Power and Finn Bob are side by side. Finn Bob on the outside line, trying to make the move stick on Max Power. Do not go side by side through here. Nice camera angle, but a very nice move there by Max Power. Through into fifth, Finn Bob there in sixth, Ian Van Noonen there in seventh in this early stage of the race. Matteo though leading the way, Tom in second, Sergio there in third. Bit of a lag spike there. I think that was from Andrea, if I'm not mistaken. He is lagging about all over the place in the background. As now Ian Van Noonen set to sight on Finn Bob. BRT against TTM, down the straight towards Ascari. But the man on the set of hards will not get past the man on the set of mediums. Finn Bob and Ian Van Noonen remain as they are. But Enzo there down in 8th position. Ads, by the way, should be fine. I'm not sure why they're coming up with a relatively increased velocity, I think, in terms of this. Matteo, though, has already dropped Tom Roberts nearly outside of a second. And in fact, Tom Roberts does not have DRS running down the straight. So Matteo has got him outside of a second. In fact, he does have DRS. My mistake. He does have DRS. Down in towards turn number 1. Typical's going to try and come back at Cameron Dowd in towards turn number 1 as well. And Cameron's actually got left side end plate damage on that car. So that little bit of squirming and squibbling. Oh, and there's damage in behind. Ghost King picks up wing damage as well. He runs into the back of Cameron Dowd, who has got wing damage himself. I'm sure that'll be a report being put in by GT10. But now we're running line astern, coming through Curva Grande once again. Matteo there leading the way, Tom in second, Sergio there in third. I will go slightly off commentary for 30 seconds, just while I send a message. I'll be back with you in 30 seconds. And I think Ian Van Noonen there got the move done on Finn Bob, so he's through and he's into 6th position. Finn Bob there down in 7th, but it's a much more calm restart, I think, in terms of this, compared to the last restart that we had, and it being absolutely chaotic in the first 2 laps like you saw. Enzo now getting moved on Finn Bob as well, so it looks like the BRT man slightly struggling early on that sort of medium compounder tyres. It doesn't have any damage on that car, which is noticeable. Tom now sending his sights on Matteo for the race lead. E-Turn against Shazoo. We'd love to see this battle in EML and indeed in other team events as well. And the Shazoo man of Tom Roberts heads to the front. So the Brit now leading the way from the Italian as Finn Bob, I thought, tried to go for a move on Enzo there in the background. Not quite close enough to try and pull off that move. But Tom there leading the way. Matteo in second. Sergio there in third. Ghost King and Cameron Dowd, both with wing damage, both are side by side through Curva Grande. It looks like Ghost King is going to get ahead of Cameron Dowd. Cameron can't respond. Enzo was side by side with Max Power into the Della Roger, and that is a move done for Enzo. Throonies into 6th. Max Power there in 7th. Good move there by the man of TTM, the Frenchman, ahead now of the Austrian. And Tom now beginning to try and pull away from Matteo. 7/10 of a second, 8/10 of a second, judging by Sergio's ERS. He's going to try and attack his own teammate down the straight through the Curva del Savario in towards Ascari, in towards turns 8, 9 and 10. Sergio not quite close enough to Matteo. Matteo there's got 70% of ERS. Tom on 90, Sergio on 92, Ryan on 89. So relatively keeping their batteries rather stable early on. Ian Van Noonen, on the other hand, isn't, and he's got 40% of ERS out on track. Lauren's saying in the chat, where did Cameron get damaged? I think he got damaged from Typical running into the back of him, potentially. If not, he's definitely ran into somebody on that one, is what I'm thinking. And he has now run in the pit lane, because Cameron Dowd is in to the pit lane. Set of hard compounder tyres is going to go on right to the end of the race. Finn Bob and Max Power breaking each other nearly apart down in towards turn 1 on the brakes. Max Power just about getting the move done on Finn Bob. Finn Bob now trying to come back on the right-hand side now through turn number 2 and in towards turn number 3. And Finn Bob's going to have a really good run. BRT against FRT. BRT against Avisio here. Inside the left-hander now of the Della Roger, and Finn Bob does not go for that move. That was always going to close up on him. Max Power remains ahead for P7. Finn Bob there in 8th. Try and keep on board with everything that is going on right now in terms of this session. Tom there leading the way, Matteo in 2nd, Sergio in 3rd, Ryan there in 4th. As I say, most drivers on a set of medium compounder tyres, everyone else on a set of hards. Cameron Dowd forfeiting 5 seconds of his pit stop, around about a 19.5 second pit stop that you see around here in Italy. His pit stop was 24.5 seconds with the damage that he had on that car. So Cameron Dowd's now 24 seconds away. It's going to be quite lonesome, but he can try and get a big undercut is what is going to be toward the end of this session for him, hopefully. But Tom, currently Shazoo, topping and tailing the standings right now. Ian Van Noonen sets his sights on Ryan, breezes past. Ryan almost standing still there down the straight, to be honest there. Down in towards turn number 1, Ian Van Noonen now ahead. Ryan there in 5th, Enzo there in 6th. Nice early scrimmaging out on track, and in the end, yeah, I thought it was typical. I did see the contact with typical through turn number 1. He also had contact as well a couple of laps later, I think, on lap 3, I think, that he had the contact with typical running the back of him. That's where I thought he picked up the contact, but it was turn 1. So confirmed that by the Shazoo Man of Smeg. That is Cameron Dowd with damage. Epic Vale has also responded to come in the pit lane, and he is going to be coming out ahead of Cameron Dowd. So he definitely didn't have damage on that car. Going for a fresh set of hards early on. As, so now sights on a move for Enzo, inside line, on Ryan, maybe going for a 2 for 1. Oh, Frenchman was close there to the back of Ian Van Noonen, and the TTM boys are making good ground through the field. Ryan's tyres are already going off the cliff. You can tell, losing time, losing a little bit of power on those tyres, definitely not great news at all if you are a Ryan fan right now for NLR. Coming through the right-hander of turn number 11 at Parabolica. Ryan trying to get the move now on the back of Enzo once again. I think they're just going to be entitled to run side by side down the straight. Or certainly line astern down the straight in towards turn number 1. Looks like Killer and L. We go for a move on Namsko. Flies to the outside line. Overspeed central there from Killer and L. And he is a killer for 12th position. That is him now through up into 11th. Down there in 12th is Namsko. So Namsko almost looked like he was sitting still there. Has got the move done, and he's through his into 11 by Killer NL, so he is through his into 11 ahead of Namsko. Ryan now on the back of Enzo, and try and maybe sneak on to the back of him once again. Look at how quick Finn Bob is on the back of Max Power, just in behind as well. Max Power definitely looking very slow. If you can hear that, by the way, in the background, that's an aircraft flying over the top of my house. Not sure what on earth is going on. Not sure if we're getting low-level takeoffs or whatever nearby Newcastle Airport. But there we are. Finn Bob on the back of Max Power. Max Power in 7th. Finn Bob and Nathan Andreas spun. Coming out of a scar. He's lost his front wing, has he? Oh, and there goes as well. Andre on the back of Finn Bob. In fact, it's not. It's typical that is spun. Getting my FRTs confused there. Andre was going for the move on Finn Bob. In all of that, typical is spun. And that's a typical moment, albeit from the FRT man, as into the pit lane, Matteo and Sergio come. Matteo and Sergio, obviously not in the same team, because we're running the F1 World Cars. They can pick whenever they want, and they are not in the same pit garage, which is good from their perspective. Matteo and Sergio there are into the pit lane. Sergio held up there slightly, but they're coming out of the pit lane. They'll come out miles ahead compared to Epic Vale and Cameron Dowds. Tom leading the way, though. Ian Van Noonen in 2nd. TTM Enzo in 3rd. NLR Ryan there in 4th right now. As Finn Bob on the back of Max Power, looking to try and get the move done through the first Lesmo. Definitely looking very quick here, the BRT man. BRT, of course, qualified top end of the field in Lexi Division last night and top of the standings in qualifiers last night. And Finn Bob will definitely be looking to try and be part of their team moving forward in BRT. Tom leading the way, Ian Van Noonen in 2nd, Enzo there in 3rd, Ryan there in 4th. You can tell my voice is going early on, so this is going to be a struggle for the next 2/3 race distance that we will have. Should see, though, pit stops begin to happen, and Tom's tyres are already off the cliff. You could tell he's coming in the pit lane, is he? No, he stays out. Tom, interestingly, stays out, willing to continue on at least another lap or so. So he is going to be under pressure from Ian Van Noonen. And speaking of the Dutchman, goes down the inside line in towards turn number 1. Also Namsko getting the move done on Killer and L, and Jordan following through as well. So 2 moves there on Killer and L. Namsko through into 8th. Jordan there in 9th. Killer and L there in 10th. Typical into the pit lane as well. Did he have any front wing damage on the car coming in the pit lane? Don't think he did. I think he I think he got away with it. No, he does have a front wing change. Right side end plate damage, I think, on the car. Tom on the back of Ian Van Noonen. Oh, side by side actually between Enzo and Ian Van Noonen, just coming on board with them. And Ryan tries to go for the move there on the back of Enzo, not quite getting the move done. Oh, Ian Van Noonen leading the way. Tom in second, Enzo in third. Enzo right on the back of Tom Roberts now. Running down the curve El Salvadio once again. In towards the score. Turns 8, 9 and 10. A beckon for these drivers out on track. With a third of the race distance gone. And currently, with Ian Van Noonen leading the way, it is going to be very tactical, I think, toward the bottom end of this first half stint. So this is going to be really intriguing indeed. It is very good for Matteo. He has came in early, along with Sergio. They are going to have a very big undercut on everyone else. But if they stay out on that set of medium compound tyres for any much longer, they're going to be threatened by the younger hards towards the end of the race. So Sergio and Matteo are going to be in trouble, I think. And in a little bit as Enzo powers past Ian Van Noonen, powers past Tom Roberts, 3 wide in towards turn number 1. Ian Van Noonen jumps it up the inside line just for good measure as well. Now tries to get the switchback out of turn number 1. Doesn't quite get the switchback coming out of turn number 1. But now coming through turns 2 and 3 once again. Now through cover Grande. Ian Van Noonen on the back of Tom. Tom cannot close on the back of Enzo. Enzo caught them napping. The TTM man through and he's into the race lead. So TTM currently 1-3, and Ian Van Noonen really nearly went close into the back of Tom there. Tom there in third, Ian Van Noonen there in third, Ryan there in fourth. Brilliant battle though, and Enzo through for TTM into the race lead. Still, I don't think this battle is overdone with Finn Bob and Max Power being threatening for a long, long time in terms of their racing, in terms of their battles. 5th and 6th, Andrea there in 7th. And Max Power there in the lead of this race. Finn Bob second. Finn Bob there. Sorry, Max Power in 5th. Finn Bob in 6th. I'm losing the will to live, as you can clearly tell. Enzo there leading the way though, from Tom in 2nd. Ian Van Noonen there in 3rd. Cars, 7 cars coming through in towards Parabolica. There was a move further down the field. I think Sergio dropped behind. Is Enzo coming in? No, it's going to be double time. Now, the TTM, and it looks like Ian Van Noonen could now get the party in the Red Sea from Moses. But in the end, Ryan is coming like a scalded cat on the back, down in towards turn number 1. The 2 green cars now going side by side. Difficult for me. They're both in TTM and NLR, however. And the TTM man, Ian Van Noonen, holds on. Ryan there in 4th does not probably want to go for the move rather than anything else. Enzo on the back of Tom. We're going to try and get the move done as well. Now to the right hand of turn number 3, even at Cover Grande. Not going to get the move done. I'm going to rest my voice up for 30 seconds. I'll be back with you in that period of time. Max Power threatening now on the back of Ryan. And again, not looking quite close enough for the move on the back there. Finn Bob there in 6th. Finn Bob really close to the back of Max Power as well. Everyone's just happy to run in a bit of a line of stern formation. Medium compound tyres. Tom, Ryan, Max Power, Finn Bob, Andreas should be coming in for a set of hards. I would think in the next 2 or 3 laps, they've definitely got to come in. That's an awesome cam angle, by the way, on board Max Power. Thank you very much. Running these new cam angles in. Pit stops are in, and Tom is in, and Ryan's in as well, but he gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. When his luck couldn't get any worse, it now has. 10-second penalty for Ryan. I'm sure that will be removed if it is viable. Or Finn Bob nearly forces Max Power off track through turn 1. They get caught on each other slightly with the contact model. Now Finn Bob's on the inside line once again, but in the end Max Power finds the way through. That battle was threatening for a while. It happened, and Max Power remains in 3rd on that set of mediums. Finn Bob there in 4th on that set of mediums. Remember, the younger tyres toward the end of the race, the younger hards even, toward the end of the race, will work. So anybody putting in, compared to Matteo and Sergio, who have got a 4-second gap over Tom, anybody putting in will have their tyres toward the end of the race. That is a cast iron guarantee, as it looks like Enzo looking on the back of Ian Van Noonen, looking to try and get the move done. Not quite close enough, but it's Enzo now into the race lead. Ian Van Noonen 2nd. I wonder if they're going to split the strategy very soon out of them two. And at this moment in time, Finbob on the back of Max Power. Don't worry, I didn't go like robotic or anything. I was just typing a message to somebody. As the guys on a set of mediums are in. So Finbob and Max Power into the pit lane. Ian Van Noonen and Enzo have got to work for themselves out on track. And Ian Van Noonen there leading the way. Enzo there in second. Jordan there in third. Jordan and Killer now side by side as well. Down in towards turn number 1. Where is Finbob and Max Power going to come out in the whole relation of this battle compared to the likes of Ryan, Tom, Andrea, Ghost King? Are they going to come out in amongst that pack? I think they're going to come out behind Ryan, are they? Oh, they are! Oh, my word! I think Max Power's just hit the wall coming out of the pit lane. We'll definitely see that on board with Andrea. If he hasn't, he's very lucky. If he hasn't, he is very lucky. He absolutely snapped that nearly into the right-hand side wall. Max Power is one very, very lucky boy right now. In 15, on the back of Andrea. He's came up behind him. Enzo and Ian Van Noonen swapping for the race lead. Max Power is very lucky that he hasn't got any right side end plate damage on that car, because that car almost whacked the wall. Wow. Team Avicii were counting their lucky stars. After that, Enzo leading the way. Ian Van in second. Here's the roll call right now. Jordan in third with the N Killer in fourth. MI Killer and L even in fourth. Namsco in fifth, and it's a rocker. Oxtez, Boy Lulo, Avagabade, and Mateo ran off the top 10. Then Sergio, Tom Roberts, Ryan, Andrea, Max Power top 15. Finbob, Cameron Dad, Epic Vale, Ghost King, and Typical ran off the top 20. Position change for the race lead. Again, working really well together, TTM boys. Jordan now coming under pressure from Killer NL and also from Namsco. Namsco realising what CPI are doing ahead of him and remains in behind for now. Good race this though. Good race this. Ticking along very nicely indeed. Lap 14 out of 27. And at this moment in time, the guys on this fresh set of hard runners, Enzo and Ian Van Noonen again, swapping positions there. Mateo on the back, 3 seconds away from the back of Edgar Bardi, who still yet to come in the pit lane. Dragging Sergio along with him. Tom Roberts, though, not making any inroads right now. 3.6 seconds on the back of Mateo. Was 3.8, I think, coming out the pit lane. So he's only gained, what, 0.2 of a second out on track? But yeah, very, very strange indeed. Enzo will lead the way. Ian Van Noonen second. Finbob and Max Power side by side through the first Lesbo. And that, I think, was Finbob around the outside there with Max Power. Nice move if that was the case. Sergio and Mateo now working together for ET8 as well. Now on the back, Andrea. On the back of Max Power. Be 3 wide in towards Ascari. I dare not think this. Andrea on the inside line. Forcing him off track. Oh, Andrea forcing Max Power off track. Max Power having to go in the gravel. It's so difficult to run side by side through that part of the track. You're always going to be forced on the aggressive curbs on the outside. That's what Max Power's just found out. P19 for him. That was a really good battle between them both up until that point. It was a very good battle between them both. One slight mistake and one slight force wide as Ryan gets moved on Tom Roberts. One slight force wide can be race ending. Max Power, though, will be hoping to try and get on the back of Ghost King, Epic Vale, and then they can close in on the back of the front runners a little bit later on in this race. Tom, though, on the back of Ryan. Ryan there in 12th. Looking through the penalties, by the way, there are multiple 10-second penalties that have been picked up for speeding in the pit lane. Ryan on 10, Epic Vale on 10, Ghost King on 10 as well. He's got 13, though, with that 3-second penalty added on. And also 3-second penalties further up the field for Oxtez and indeed for Edgar Bardi. So they've got 3 seconds worth of penalties right now. So position change further up the field. I think Namsco got ahead of Killer NL. And a rocker right in behind there in a bit of a exterior sandwich as the CPI map. Tom again closing up on the back of Ryan. Down in towards Ascari. This could be the battle to watch on board with right now, because the guys will come in the pit lane eventually in the front half of the race. As literally as I say that, Jordan, Namsco, Killer NL and Oxes are all into the pit lane. Are they going to get 11 laps out of those mediums though? That would be my biggest concern. Oh, Ryan running very wide. If there was a sausage curb on that, never know what might have happened. But Tom now on the back. Feeling the threat now, Ryan, is Tom. And Tom powers past him down the straight in towards turn number 1. Like taking candy from what looks like a bit of a, I don't know, a fruit pastel. You could tell with Ryan. He's through and he's into 7th anyways. Tom on the back of Ryan. Further down the field, medium runners have actually came out in amongst this battle, right behind Andrea. Jordan has come, and Amstel's come out right behind Epic Vale, and right ahead of, you guessed it, Cameron Dowd, who is back in this fight, even though he's on all the tyres. Same with Epic Vale. They're in this fight. They can try and get these tyres toward the end of the race, potentially. Cameron Dowd's there in 14th. Namskull there, 13th. Namskull on that fresh set of mediums will be definitely looking to try and get this move done sooner rather than later. Sergio through on Mateo further up the field as well. Namskull now, phenomenal run compared to Epic Vale. 10 lap pressure tyres will get you a hell of a lot down here in Ascari, down towards Ascari. Namskull proves that he is through, and he is into 12th position as Epic Vale. Thought he went for spin there. Oh, I swear I saw him near enough to go for half spin. But anyways, he's under pressure from Cameron Dowd. Cameron having to try and get something out of this race, judging by the contact that he had with Typical earlier on. What is going on right now between Tom and Ryan? Nothing much. A Rocker coming out the pit lane, Finbob coming out the pit lane. They're not going to be ahead of these guys, are they? No. A Rocker is going to come out right in the middle of near enough a French sandwich, because we've got Ghost King ahead of him, who's nearly spinning the car. On the exit of the corner, GT10 wants to give him room, a Rocker gives him room and just gives him the cold shoulder. I like that sort of driving from a Rocker. Ghost King there, he couldn't really do anything about that after making that mistake. Might seem forceful from a Rocker, but that was just, you get onto that side of the track, I'll get on this side of the track. As Epic Vale makes a mistake, Cameron Dowd's through on Epic Vale into 11th. Cameron Dowd's there into 11th, Epic Vale there in 12th. And yeah, definitely this race is holding up. Lap 17 out of 27. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section right now, because I haven't been on there in a little while. But the front two are in. This is going to be noticeable. Ian Van Unen and Enzo, both in the pit lane, both for a set of mediums. Where are they going to come out in terms of this battle? Are they going to come out right stab centre in this battle, or are they going to come out ahead? They could come out ahead of this battle, actually. Are they even going to get out of ahead of Finn, Bob, and Andrea? Oh, my word! Oh, my God. Ian Van Unen. Code brown for Ian Van Unen coming out the pit lane. My God, what is it with people and having a snap of oversteer coming out the pit lane? It's the easiest part, coming out the pit lane. We saw it with Max Power earlier on, and now we've seen it with Ian Van Unen. Goodness me. Absolutely soiling their own pants, I think, out on track. Goodness me. Killer and L, 13th, Epic Vale in 14th. How on earth Ian Van Unen is somehow still in this race is beyond belief. It really is, but they are in contention. Big, big plus for TCM and for their threat of moving forward in this race. Tom and Ryan's tyres are going to come to them. The big problem is, though, with TCM, they're in a 4.5 second chasm between Ryan and Finbob, and that gap is not going to go up. That gap is always going to try and come down. These guys are on fresher tyres. You'd imagine they're going to be quicker, but because they're out of that DRS and Finbob's out of that DRS, they're just going to fall back into each other, and the likes of Jordan, Namskull, or Rocker are all going to come into play in this battle. So watch out for this, because Finbob has got to try and somehow get a move and work together with Andrea, Ian and Enzo. They've got to try and factor out the team matter and just play with each other out on track in a way that benefits every single one of them. As Andrea gets done, 2 for 1 down in towards turn 1. That is very late for Ian Van Unen. Job done for him on the back of Finbob. Enzo also through on Andrea. So TCM making good ground now through the field. And again, trying to go side by side. Finbob right on the back of Ian Van Unen. Tucked underneath, almost bump drafting. There goes Enzo to the outside on. This is not going to work for TTM, not going to work for Finbob if they're not careful. And it's definitely not going to work. They're in the wall. Definitely not going to work. Finbob's in the wall even more in the wall as Enzo. He's lost front wing. Might be a BSC or a safety car coming in right now. And that was never going to end well. You try to go side by side. We saw it with Sergio early on. Went side by side in the end. And that was managed to be pulled off. And again, fighting very aggressively. Enzo was defending, and he is absolutely livid with Finbob with that instinct. Cameron Dowd doesn't care. Doesn't give one iota to the inside line of Finbob with that damage through, and he's into 12th, and now making his inroads now on Enzo. Back on the back of the Frenchman, in towards turn number 11 at Parabolica. But yeah, that incident should have never happened. They should have just respected each other. TTM at the end of the day, with the box effect, maybe just causing Finbob to go into the side. It's going to be a difficult one for the stewards to look at, that is for sure. Enzo in the pit lane. Finbob was definitely going to be in the pit lane as well. In fact, Enzo was continuing on, and Epic Vale goes past Cam and Dad. And there goes Enzo past Cam and Dad as well. Lap 20 out of 27, all huddling up. Oh, Ghost King nearly going in the back of Cam and Dad as well. Has he just received damage from that, if I'm not mistaken? He might have done. Very strange goings on. Back to the front, though, where it's a little bit calmer. Matteo leading the way, Sergio in second. 3 seconds the gap. E8-1-2 for the second week in a row was looking very likely indeed. But Tom now, finally, his tyres are beginning to come into play. 2.8 seconds, gap is coming down. But are they going to catch before the end of the race, given how well E8 are working ahead of them? It's going to be tough. Ryan and Tom have got to forfeit, basically, their own team for working together on track. That is what they're going to have to focus on, because otherwise it's not going to work. Sergio and Matteo are working absolutely brilliantly out in front, and they've got to try and close the gap somehow, and that gap might have to be with the forfeit of the ERS as well. So it's going to be really intriguing toward the end here. As again, going for the race lead is Matteo on the back of Sergio. Race lead is now secured for him. Tom Robertson third, Ryan in fourth, Ian Van Unen there in fifth. Looking good for Tom right now. Oh, Ryan very deep into turn one there. Very deep in towards turn one. Side by side further down the field. Killer Van L through on Jordan. Cameron Dowd's through on Epic Vale. Max Power through on Ghost King around the outside. Nice move by Max Power around the outside, and that was maximum effort, I am sure, from the Avisio man. Stooney's into 13th, Ghost King 14th, Enzo there in 15th. Enzo now on the back, looking to try and get the move done through Cover Grande. One lap 21 out of 27, by the way. Did I even mention that in this race? Because it is pure, utter, unadulterated chaos that has been occurring out on track. And we're going to be busy. Stewards are definitely going to be busy. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, is what I will definitely say. Sergio leading the way. Matteo second, Tom Roberts there in third, Ryan in fourth. Gap now all of a sudden has gone back up 3.2 seconds from 2.8. Going back down. As Ryan now sets his sights on the back of Tom. But Matteo and Sergio are just having their own private fight for each day. Is it going to be papaya rules for Matteo and Sergio, like it was in real life for Piastri and Norris? Who knows? Answers on a postcard for ET8, please. If that is anyone in the comment section from ET8 still there, please let me know. Sorry, I'm just giving my voice a little bit of a rest there. Matteo there leading the way, Sergio in second, Ryan third, Tom Roberts there. Right now in fourth position, Ian Van Unen, Andrea Namsko, Killer Vanel, Arocca, Jordan top 10, Epic Vale, Cameron Dowds, Max Power, Ghost King, Boy Lulo top 15. Then it's Enzo, Oxstairs, Abe Gabardi, typical, and then Finbob right down the bottom end of the field. There goes Tom for P3. On the outside line, on Ryan, they've got to work together, they've got to close the gap, but because ET8 are working so well together, so well, the front two, this gap is staying completely stagnant. And that is not a good thing, because we want to see action out on track in terms of the front battle, but we also want to see the rest of the guys fight. So it's got to be between Sergio and Matteo, it seems, for the race lead. If Tom and Ryan's tyres suddenly come on, and suddenly begin to close in 4 or 5 tenths of a second per lap, then they will close in toward the end of the race. But I just think with how many laps we've got left in this race, with how long this race is going to be, with there being no VSEs or safety cars currently in this race either, it's going to be a real question. Killer Vanel through on Namsko, Cameron Dowds through on Epic Vale. Is Ghost King going to close in on Max Power as well? Closing in. Track speed and overspeed. Central! My word, Max Power again, side by side, sideways. Coming out through turn number 1. Nice Tokyo drift, just about remains ahead of Ghost King. And now Ghost King has got Boy Lulu as teammate. Now going to give him a crack in the cherry, but he is through and he lets the teammate through. Boy Lulu through into 14th. Ghost King in 15th. Glad to see everyone continuing on, by the way, out on track. Still points down to 19th position. So every single point counts. Finn Bob in P20, he gets a fastest lap, he gets a point as well. So everyone will score points if they currently finish as it stands. Gap still increasing between Sergio and Ryan. Again, nipping up there for 3.4, 3.5 seconds, I think I saw that out between them both. Finn Bob does indeed set the new fastest lap of the race as well. And Finn Bob does get that fastest lap of the race. Epic Vale with a 3-second penalty. It is going to be really interesting. Matteo, though, leading the way. Sergio there in second. Then Ryan in third position right now. Tom on the back of Ryan, though. Down in towards turn 1. Job done. Thuni's into third. Ryan there down in fourth. But right now, it is looking pretty decent in terms of the racing out on track. The whole debacle, by the way, I could see a whole thing going on. Oh, as Namsko's very deep in towards turn number 1 there. And also, I think a Rocker was fighting side by side with Killer and L in the background as well. What we will do is clarify the rules and regulations for everyone at the end of this live stream, just so there is no avoidance of doubt and everything like that, just to make sure everyone's singing on the same hymn sheet even, and obviously with the rule book and everything, we will try and get into place, so that ensures that it doesn't happen again in terms of the restart that we had a little bit earlier on, which should have been conducted by the race director. And that should have been Matteo to call that, and that will be made crystal clear, I'm sure, within the next week. Matteo will lead the way, Sergio in second, Tom Roberts in third. We're going to get no VSEs or safety cars in this race, which means it's very good because I can have an early night. I can go and watch Race Across the World after this. And Matteo there, leading the way. Sergio in second. Tom Roberts there in third. Sergio on the back of Matteo for this race lead. We're going to have to now focus on this race lead battle because it is going to be between them both. Tom and Ryan, though, the gap's beginning to close. 3.2, 3.1. Gap's just now suddenly gone up because of that overtake from Sergio on the back of Matteo. But it was 2.8, 2.9. Just coming down there slightly. A Rocker goes for the move on Killer Ranel and on Namsko. Job done for him. A Rocker and Team X Sawyer are having a very good race right now. 7th and 9th position for them. FRT are doing pretty well with Andrea there. Looks like it's going to benefit ET8 more than anything and extend their championship lead. Max Power goes and gets a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. And with Epic Vale in ghost mode out on track, I believe there's a little bit of illegal overtake going on here. And indeed, it fixed itself. In fact, Epic Vale, I'm not sure if he's left the session or if he is an AI. I'm not sure what's going on with him. He's dropping down the field, though. Epic Vale dropping down the field. Strive for NLR, which is a shame, because they had that opportunity for that restart, and they got that restart. They made very good progress in the field with Ryan. With Epic Vale, though, not going to be occurring on that 19-lap Ultra hard compound of tyres. Sergio, though, leading the way. Tom there in third, Ryan there in fourth. On board with Ryan as we go on to the final 2 laps of the race. It's going to be ET8 and ET8 for the race win, but who's going to come out on top? They're both Italians. They both want this. Matteo now hits the front from Sergio in second. Tom there in third. Ryan there in fourth. Ryan now going for the move on Tom. Pulling alongside, not going to go for the move. Faking that in towards turn number 1. Everyone, I think, is line of sternum behind apart from Boy Ludo, who's side by side with Max Power further down the field. There's the battle now. Going on board with Boy Ludo is side by side with Max Power. That's Max on the left-hand side. Boy Ludo on the right-hand side will be right on board with. Fighting very aggressively in towards turn 1. Don't make contact, please. Max Power there, remaining in 12th, and that Oxley's gets a phenomenal run off the corner as well. Ghost King involved in this battle as well. 3 wide coming through Curva Grande. Max Power somehow gets out of that. Sorry, Boy Ludo gets out of that and somehow is now ahead. Boy Ludo and Max Power side by side. Now into the Delaware chicane. Max Power loses it all under shape. Oxley's nearly into the side of him as well. I think Max Power just about kept that, and Max Power somehow there in P13. Ghost King and Oxley very, very lucky indeed not to come away with that, as now, still 3 wide and behind. It's getting very aggressive. Please fight clean, guys, for goodness sake. Abe Gilbardi on the back of these guys as well. Matteo Sergio for the race lead, going on to the final lap of the race very soon. And then it's Tom and Ryan in behind. This battle further down the field, though, is for 15th and 16th position. Absolute madness. Sergio, though, on the back of Matteo. Is Matteo going to win this race? Has the order been given for Matteo to win? It looks like he might have done. Sergio, though, if he wants personal gain, he wants to try and get this move done. Oh, my word, he's all out of shape. Through turn number 1. Ryan Thuni's into third, but he's got that penalty overshadowing him. That might get removed. We'll have a look at all 10-second penalty removals for speed in the pit lane. Of course, it is 10-second penalty removal. 10 seconds worth of penalties now in real-life Formula 1. Sergio nearly into the back of his own teammate. Goodness me, I don't know what they're feeding Sergio right now. He's got to be careful that he doesn't hit his own teammate. ET8, though, are on for a second 1-2 of the season after last week's class drive from Rens Thomason and also from Rodadell, who ended up finishing P3, ended up getting promoted to P2. This, though, has been an absolute masterclass in how to do teamwork. Matteo and Sergio through into the left-hander once again of Ascari. Tom has got one final crack at Ryan on this final lap of the race. Typical takes the fastest lap off the back of Finn Bob, so he gets the extra point. Here comes Tom on the back of Ryan. Sergio goes for the race lead. I don't know where to turn. Sergio now hits the front on the back of Matteo. Is Matteo going to now have the run on the back of Sergio coming through the final corner? No, he is not. Sergio is going to take the race win for ET8. Matteo's going to finish in second. And Tom Roberts, after that final lap overtake, getting the move done. Dooney's into third. Ryan there will drop down the field. That 10-second penalty, as I say, will get removed. Andrea and Namsko are fighting all the way to the line. Namsko ahead of Andrea in the end. Ryan there in P7 ending up. Andrea in P8, Killer in P9. Cameron Dowds, disappointing for him. P10, but 23 lap ball hards at the end. Well done to him. Epic Vale did leave the session, by the way, further down. Goldstein's got a penalty. They were coming across the line with max power, separated by 0.04 of a second. Oh, my word. It is ET8 out on top once again. Rens Thomason took the race last week in Japan. It is a straight 2 out of 2 with a 1-2 again. Perfect driving from Sergio. Taking the race win. Matteo in second. And as I say, that is how you do teamwork here in EML. As we're still waiting, by the way, for battles to come across the line. I thought we were done. Enzo through the final corner on the run to the line. We'll get P17, of course. Cameron Dowds will still get within the race result. And then through the final corner comes Finn Bob. Finn Bob looking to try and sneak away the fastest lap from the back of Typical. But in the end, I don't think he will. Finn Bob remains there down in P20 out on track. Wow, it's going to be controversial. We're going to have all of that argument around the rulebook, all of that argument around the restart and everything that's to be had in the coming few minutes, I would imagine. But in the end, fantastic drive out on track and ET8 get their richly deserved reward. And Matteo has already said he's leaving ET8 because he got his win stolen. As I said, Sergio, personal gain, personal preference, I'm sure, for Sergio there. Wanted to try and go for the win. Probably thought, Matteo's probably thought, let him, maybe. But in the end, it is a fantastic mod too. Shaking the hand and taking the top step of the podium. Sergio does take that race win. Sergio the man on top, from Matteo in second, ET8 1-2, Tom Roberts there in third, Ian Van Noonen in fourth, with a Rocker in fifth, Namskill there in sixth, Ryan in seventh, Andrea in eighth, Killer Van L in ninth, and then Jordan ran off the top 10. Relatively good showing for CPI there. Boy Lilo in 11th with Edgar Barty in 12th, Oxford there in 13th, Max Power at 14th, Ghost King, Epic Vale. Typical Finn Bob, Cameron Dowds and then Enzo. Cameron Dowds and Enzo will get their positions rectified. Enzo right down the bottom end of the field. Cameron Dowds there will end up, I think, in P10, if I'm not mistaken. But there's probably gonna be a lot of movement in terms of the stewards. The best way to keep on board with that is in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, have a look in the description. The invite is there if you do want to get involved in EML. And hopefully, we will be back here once again next week. Hopefully, Michael Edwards will be back alongside me next week as well. Just a reminder of what is to come. If you thought Italy was bad, we've got Jeddah next week. Jeddah is for round number 4. And then it is the Dutch Grand Prix round 5. Then we're on a break week, which is going to be very, very good for all of us. Spain, and then Britain, Belgium, Qatar, and Brazil to round off the season on October 30th. We're not going to have any interviews. My voice is done. I'm going to let you all have an early night. I'm going to let myself have an early night as well. Thank you so much for watching EML Season 7, Round 3 here in Italy. Until next time in Saudi Arabia for round number 4. Please take care of yourselves. I will see you next week. But until then, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.